Hello, Melissa Maxwell here. I will be reading Queen Margaret from Richard III. If ancient sorrow be most reverent, give mine the benefit of seniority, and let my griefs frown on the upper hand. If sorrow can admit society, tell over your woes again by viewing mine. I had an Edward till a Richard killed him. I had a Harry till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst an Edward till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Richard till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Clarence too, and Richard killed him. From forth the kennel of thy womb hath crept a hellhound that doth hunt us all to death. That dog that had its teeth before his eyes to worry lambs and lap their gentle blood. That foul defacer of God's handiwork, that excellent grand tyrant of the earth, that reigns in galled eyes of weeping souls, thy womb let loose to chase us to our graves. Oh, upright, just, and true disposing God, how do I thank thee that this carnal cur preys on the issue of his mother's body, and makes her pew-fellow with others' moan. Bear with me. I am hungry for revenge, and now I cloy me with beholding it. Thy Edward? He is dead that killed my Edward. Thy other Edward dead to quit my Edward. Thy Clarence, he is dead that stabbed my Edward. And the beholders of this frantic play, the adulterate Hastings, Rivers, Vaughan, Grey, untimely smothered in their dusky graves. Richard yet lives, hell's black intelligencer, only reserve their factors to buy souls and send them thither. But at hand ensues his piteous and unpitied end. I called thee once, vain flourish of my fortune. I called thee then poor shadow, painted queen, a queen in jest only to fill the scene. Where is thy husband now? Where be thy brothers? Where be thy two sons? Wherein dost thou joy? Who sues and kneels and says, God save the Queen? Decline all this and see what now thou art. For happy wife, a most distressed widow. For joyful mother, one that wails the name. For she that scorned at me, now scorned of me. For she, being feared of all, now fearing one. For she commanding all, obeyed of none. Thus hath the course of justice whirled about, and left thee but a very prey to time, having no more but thought of what thou wast, to torture thee the more, for being what thou art. Thou didst usurp my place, and dost thou not usurp the just proportion of my sorrow? Now thy proud neck bears half my burdened yoke, from which even here I slip my weary head, and leave the burden of it all on thee. Farewell, York's wife and queen of sad mischance. These English woes shall make me smile in France. I had the great fortune of working at Alabama's Shakespeare Festival for 3 consecutive years in a row in the 90s. I think it was 96, 97, 98, can't be sure. But of this I'm certain. It was the most glorious time. I worked with some of the most talented people I have ever met in my life, many of whom are still dear friends. Anyone who ever has the opportunity to experience Alabama Shakespeare Festival, whether it be as an artist or a patron, know this: you are extremely lucky.